Well, I don't know if you can hear me, but the internet connection has been a little bit shaky over here. But are you all good? You can hear me now?
We got you. We got you.
Yep.
If you freeze up a
Perfect.
little, it's okay. I think your sound is a little better than your picture, so that's fine. As long as we
Okay.
got sound, we'll be okay. But you can hear me,
Okay.
yes?
Yes, I hear you fine. No issues there. So we should be good to go.
Great. So Jay Scott on location in the UK right now. Very cool,
Reporting
man.
live.
You're
Hopefully,
reporting live. We are doing it.
yeah.
We're doing it across the board.
Hopefully the censorship police, leave me alone over here. I've been hearing a few stories about them, but hope, free speech is supposed to apply over here too. So, let's try it out.
Yes. Let's do that. And we're gonna start with this China story, what some are calling the trade war with China. It doesn't seem like it's going perfectly smooth, since all the other countries, as you know, because Trump laid down the law and got 74 calls from 74 countries that were ready to cooperate with him. So the tariffs, I guess, as he would say, worked very well, except China not so well. China did not make the call. They were plenty of back and forth to go around that did not involve China actually making that call. So here's what, just a recap. You had Trump ups China tariffs to 34%, then to 84%, then China reciprocates. Then Trump ups tariffs to 145%, then China reciprocates. Then Trump admin begs Z to call. China does nothing. Trump announces he's ready to make a deal. China does nothing. Now Trump has gotten mad about this, making a deal and no response. So he came back on his Truth Social. Nobody's getting off the hook for the unfair trade balances and non-monetary tariff barriers that other countries have used against us, especially not China, which by far treats us the worst. There was no tariff exception announced on Friday. These products are subject to the existing 20% fentanyl tariffs, and they are just moving to a different tariff bucket. The fake news knows this, but refuses to report it. We are taking a look at semiconductors and the whole electronic supply chain in the coming national security tariff investigations. So, yeah, he's doing that, and it goes on. I don't want to read this whole thing, but he's again. We make America great again. He's always coming in. Anytime somebody has a critique, he comes right back. But this is the one we wanted to get to, Jay, and you brought it to our attention. What China just did is China cuts off rare earth magnets, and US factories are sweating. So this is the move they did make by stopping rare earth magnets. So this is to explain this. Mario Nafal explains this. So China just rage quit. I guess you can call it rage quit, and stop sending rare earth magnets to the US. Those tiny but mighty metal pieces that power literally everything: electric cars, fighter jets, drones, missiles, even your car's steering. Why? Well, Trump dropped new tariffs. China didn't like that. So now they're like, cool story. Enjoy building stuff without our magnets. Here's the wild part. China makes 90% of the world's rare earth magnets and refines 100% of the heavy duty ones. Basically, they've got the world supply on lock, and they just slammed the door. Detroit, panicking. Defense contractors, sweating. It's like cutting off Wi-Fi during finals week. Trump took the first swing. China swung back. Now it's a high-stakes staring contest, and no one wants to blink. Jay, who's got the upper hand right now? What's going on? Is this going on as planned by Trump? What is your take on everything here?
My take on everything is when a bully on someone who's bigger than him or who can fight better than him, usually it doesn't turn out too well for the bully. Trump's whole style is bullying. Trump
Hey
has,
Jay, I gotta
um,
cut. I gotta cut in here because there is some in and out here. We're getting most of what you're saying, but is there anything you can do as far as can you change any setting right now?
the best I can do is probably turn off my video. Maybe that'll help. So, do you want to try that? Maybe
Yeah,
cut
let's
out
try
my
that.
my voice. All right, let me turn
Yeah,
off the
let's try that. And we can
video.
hear you. Hopefully, let's try this.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah, it's okay for now. Yeah, go ahead.
The issue with China is that we can make our own weapons without materials directly from China. And that the situation over there in Greenland, why Trump is pushing so hard for Greenland, is because he's looking for replacement of those rare earth minerals that we're currently getting from China. So, but even if we were to take Greenland. We still don't have the expertise manufacturing that China has at this point. So even if we took them, can we really manufacture the minerals the way they need to be used in order to like process them? And that's a toss up because can we do it? Can we do it efficiently? Can we do it cheaply? Absolutely not. Otherwise, we would have already been doing it. As of right now, I think we have a losing hand, but Trump's play is he knows the economy is a little bit wobbly and they are dependent on us for a chunk of their exports. So I guess he feels that if we cut them off, that'll wind up putting a lot of pressure on the government to open the pipeline back up. But the truth is, we're not very popular like now, and we're playing the role of the bad guy perfectly. Consolidate more power in the hands of the government because we see it time and time again in America, right? Where there's a big bad boogeyman like overseas, people, will tend to overlook things that their government is doing wrong if they believe their government can protect them. So it might actually have the opposite effect of what Trump intends.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a lot of noise coming from China right now, as far as kind of and they're having fun. I know you guys saw the that little AI video they put out a couple weeks ago, where they're kind of making fun of the American worker in the factory, all overweight, with the with the fast food. There's some more stuff coming out now, though. I wanted to show this. Jay, I don't know if you had a chance to see this one. But this is going around town right now. This is a little video they put out regarding some secrets, I guess, we didn't really know about how these high-end luxury items are actually made, where we thought they were being made in these high-end places in Europe. They're actually being made in China and then repackaged in these other
Yep,
locations. So
I
let's
saw
take,
it.
yeah, you saw that. Okay. So this is China exposing this luxury product scam on social media. And I don't believe this is a coincidence on the timing of putting this out. Check this out.
As long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. Those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware, remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
There it is. Jay, this is this a coincidence in the timing, or is there something happening right now, knowing that all these U.S. American citizens, younger generation, are seeing all this right now, and it's kind of opening people's eyes?
Not at all. I think, they realize that, unfortunately their country has been branded, as cheap and unable to produce quality products. They don't have that same branding that, European countries have. But, it's not even just that video. I saw another video actually reposted by Nico House. Check him out on Twitter at Real Nico House. where it was they were showing the campaign manufacturers, actually the manufacturers for Trump's campaign material being over in China. So, Trump's talking about bringing all this manufacturing, back to America. That he himself creates his own campaign products in where else but China. So, China is not just winning the trade war, but also winning the trolling war. So I'll give him credit for that joke. But yeah, that's kind of how it feels right now.
Yeah, definitely. And this whole holding the cards. I mean, and this is a fun little meme we found. I hold all the cards. The cards are made in China. That's the one. That's the one part that doesn't work for this. The intimidation and one could argue that this was very successful in other places. That Trump, this hard-nosed kind of aggressive approach, kind of like a poker player going, because the card analogy does work. If you're playing like a Texas Hold'em game and you're like, I'm pushing all my chips in and everybody folds. Well, everybody didn't fold. Everybody but China folded. And as we know, if you play poker, you know that it's not enough. If you have crap cards, it's not enough to have every single person on the table fold except one person. Now you have to fight that one person. And guess what? If they got a pocket aces, you're pretty screwed. You're pretty screwed.
Yeah.
No, there's no amount of bluffing you can bluff somebody out of a pocket aces. Unless something odd comes up on the table, but I don't want to go down the poker, rabbit hole there. But you guys understand that that's what's happening here is that Trump could not bluff everybody off the table, and here we are. And then the reveal of the things being made in China that we didn't know. This is another one that came up. And I know this is a funny meme, but this is the idea is that the Make America Great Again apparel has also been made in China, and a lot of people didn't know that. So this is a little fun. We got to hike up the price now because of this tariff war. So that's another part of the equation. Jay, where does this go from here? What's the next move? What's happening next?
Yeah, I mean, Trump's poker style is bluff every single time. Pretty much, like what his hand is. And the truth is, even when you have a good hand, like if you bluff all the time, you're not going to be in a good position to capitalize on that good hand when you do in fact get it. So, where we go from here, I guess my prediction is, I'll be honest with you, I don't want to seem too pessimistic, but I do follow Whitney Webb. And Whitney Webb is of the opinion that Trump wants to in a technocracy and introduce programmable money and all this fun stuff. So what's a great way to get people to accept programmable money? Well, if everyone's in poverty, then they're more likely to accept money that if it's programmable, if it means they'll be able to put food on the table, like right now. So what I think is a strong possibility, intentionally, crashing the economy, but he wants everyone to know that he's intentionally crashing the economy. So he's putting on a trade war that he knows that win, because if we lose in this trade war, our economy sucks, our cost of living goes up. We get to blame China. So Trump is now the person who can protect us from the big bad rest of the world. And in the meantime, if we want to keep our living standards and keep putting food on the table, we're going to need to accept this programmable money, which may not actually have all of the bad stuff in it as it rolls out. Maybe at first they roll it out in a way where it can be spent wherever. And then when the next administration comes in, all of a sudden controls get added onto it. And now you can only spend your programmable money at Walmart, Amazon, and the other big producers where people can track everything. And just like that, the entire American middle class is wiped out. So that's worst case scenario. So do I think that's going to happen? I really hope not. Another possibility is maybe we're actually going to get there and get favorable deals from other countries. I do think it's tough for me to see manufacturing providing the jobs it once did because of all the robotics. So it's hard for me to imagine manufacturing coming back here, but maybe the drop off isn't as quick, if we are able to work out some deals with additional countries. But I personally don't really see China folding, because now China is in a position where they see Biden was extremely antagonistic, while he was in office, and they increased the tariffs that Trump had started out during his first term. And now Trump comes back in, and he shows, he's going to be even more antagonistic than Biden was that time. So, if we're to pull the nuclear like bomb, physical nuclear bomb, but if they were to pull their biggest out, that they would start dumping American treasuries, and in that case, the cost of our debt would skyrocket, and we would be in a very tough financial position because the dollar would crater even more quickly. So there's a few things that could happen over here, and I hope it doesn't come to that. But these are all possibilities we have to acknowledge. And if anyone out there follows Whitney Webb and follows the money and believes that a technocracy, is possible, maybe this is Trump's accidentally, but still on purpose, plunging the economy in a terrible state so we can be forced to accept what he wants to sell us. So hopefully I'm wrong.
Accidentally on purpose, fine assessment and accurate. And we'll probably be citing this conversation a year from now or 2 years from now. We're going to be like, yep, that's kind of what happened. So yeah, I agree. Check out Whitney Webb and, this conversation, guys. Jay Scott, we've been having this conversation. We've been talking about central banking currency system, the getting everybody in to this digital ID age, and that this is the perfect way to do it. You already got the left on board. They've been on board since COVID. They've been on board since voter ID, all this stuff. So now you just got to get the right. So you get them with immigration, and now you get them with this. This is how you do it. This is how you get everybody on board.
And don't forget, the real IDs are already coming out. So the digital IDs are going live. That's happening regardless. Trump's already coming because we need digital IDs to secure the elections, get rid of the illegal immigrants, except he doesn't really want to get rid of the majority of them because he realizes a lot of them are an integral part of our economy, which is why he rolled all that back. Long story short, don't forget, everyone, CBDCs can also be rolled out through the private sector in the form of a stable coin. And Trump has already passed stable coin legislation. That was one of the first things he did when he got into office. More coming down the pipeline. So even though Trump has put out this executive order that's quote unquote banning CBDCs, you can get the same end result by cutting out the government and going straight to the private sector. Who are the ones controlling the government anyway? Does it make a difference if it's JP Morgan controlling the stable coin or the central bank? I mean, I don't know. I don't think so personally, because JP Morgan and those guys are running the central bank anyway. So you just cut out the middleman. So that's where we may find ourselves.
Either way, whoever's running the train, whoever's behind the bus, it doesn't matter. We're screwed either way.